Crystal Palace 0, Liverpool 0, and my God, are we lucky to get out of Selhurst Park with at least a point. It's one of those games where I thought Crystal Palace were the better team on the night and they should have actually won the game, and Liverpool thoroughly did not deserve to get a single thing out of that game. Losing to Real Madrid on Tuesday night, I thought to myself, do you know what, it was an embarrassing performance on Tuesday against arguably the best team in Europe. I know they're not top of La Liga, but they are an amazing world-class team, and we got thumped because at home, under the lights, Champions League, you think it's our time, it's our moment to excel and show everyone that, you know what, we're still a decent team, we're still a good team, and you know, all these results just been a consequence of not investing enough in our team from the owners, you know, a bit of unlucky with injuries, players coming in and out of the squad aging, but there was no performance today, there was no response after that game. Crystal Palace should have won that game. In the last 10 minutes, they looked like the only team who was going to try to win the game. They were the team. They looked like the team who was going to try and compete for the top 4 of the season, not us. I mean, we were so poor. We were so poor. And that's the thing, because I had a bit of hope, because I thought after getting thumped by Real Madrid, surely there'd be some response, you know? These players, mentality monsters, I keep saying, where have they gone? Because at the end of the day, we were poor. We were really poor, and I don't know how Crystal Palace haven't won that game. Credit to Crystal Palace, because they let us have the ball and they didn't start pressing us until we got into their half, and I thought that was such a clever tactic, because of course we're not going to break them down. What are we doing? I mean, it's long balls by Van Dijk, Matip, Trent Alexander-Arnold, spamming crosses by Robertson, and ultimately nothing happens. If you just defend deep, it'll all be fine. There's nothing to worry about from your side, and you just counter us because we don't have the pace in the transitions to catch up with you. I mean, countless times we saw Henderson try to foul someone, and Milner try to foul someone. We couldn't get anywhere near them. It was honestly so painful to watch, and I want Liverpool Football Club owe me a refund for that 90 minutes. I want those 90 minutes back, because my God, that was truly awful. Our form this whole season, and our form in 2023 in this calendar year, and then our form in away games this season, all have been dreadful, and they get worse progressively. But I did think, you know, they show something. They show a bit more than they did, and initial 20 minutes was good, was alright. I thought to myself, okay, yeah, quieten down Selhurst Park, which can be a very loud, intense atmosphere and create a lot of pressure for you as an away opposition if you let them get on top of you. But we didn't let Crystal Palace do any of that. Jota had a chance early in the first half. Gakpo looked sharp, dropping in deep, picking up the ball and driving. He looks like an excellent player. He kind of drifted out of the game in the early parts of the second half, but he looked really good. Mo Salah had a couple of chances, but no surprise he doesn't take them unless, you know, there's the goalkeeper dropping him the ball at his feet. At midfield, I think we were trying to bypass the midfield, and it's really sad to see. And I mentioned the long balls going forward, trying to hit the forward men, because there's no creativity in that midfield, and changes had to be made after Real Madrid. And I think Bajcetic was a bit unlucky to come out, because I think he was definitely thrown in the deep end against Real Madrid. He should have played, considering he was our best player going into that game, but he should have come off a bit sooner, because Real Madrid were just too good an opposition for him, and it's not his fault. He's 18, he shouldn't have the burden that is on his shoulders at this moment in time, but that's the way we are, we're a shambles. So he came out, which I thought was fair enough. Milner comes in, arguably one of our better players at 100 years old, and I don't know how he keeps doing it, because I do know how he keeps doing it, because the rest of our team is so poor that they all make him look amazing, honestly. And the fact that he has to go at right back afterwards in the second half, because Trent Alexander-Arnold just was so poor, was so poor. I don't know what he's thinking when he defends, because although we didn't concede a goal today against, if that was Real Madrid were playing again, they would have scored 4 or 5 passes again comfortably, and they would have sat back and just let us have the ball, because Trent makes the movement towards his man. He first sees him, then he makes the movement, and you think, okay, he's doing everything right. Then he stops and he doesn't engage, almost as if he's too scared because he doesn't want to make a mistake. And I can understand that, because he's extremely low in confidence, but if you're not competing for those 50-50s and getting stuck in the challenges, you can't be on the pitch as a defender. You can't be on the pitch at all as a Liverpool player, because you're not giving 100%. You're backing off and letting them have space. I mean, oh God, I mean, if it was Wilfred Zaha today, thankfully he wasn't playing, but if it was, then, you know, he would have had Trent Alexander-Arnold on toast. I mean, luckily it was Jeffrey Slupp, and they were kind of playing a 4-4-2, so it wasn't in direct opposition to Trent. But my God, he had a stinker of a game, and he looked legged. I don't know if Vinicius Junior ran him ragged on Tuesday night or what happened, but he looked ragged. And the fact that James Milner had to go to right back and then again, he does a much better job than Trent. And it was one of those where if Joe Gomez was on the bench, which, not gonna lie, I'm kind of glad he wasn't. I mean, it's a shame he's out injured, but I kind of wish maybe he came on and he just defend and do a decent job there, because my God, against better opposition, Crystal Palace score. And we're lucky that Crystal Palace are on such a bad run of form at this moment in time. They can't get a win at all. But they'll be disappointed early getting a point. They'll be so disappointed because they thought at home against a struggling team, they should have won that. They absolutely should have won that. The amount of times they hit the crossbar on the post, the amount of chances they had less chances than us. They had far less chances than Liverpool. Jota had one off a volley, Salah had a couple, Gakpo had a couple, but at the end of the day, none of them's a clear goal scoring opportunity, and enough men are back defending against it. The other team are always in control. We're never in control of the situation. We desperately missed Darwin Núñez, who suffered again because of that shoulder injury, and he couldn't make himself fit and available for this game. I think we probably did rush him back for Real Madrid just because it was Real Madrid, and he got us the goal, but it's all in vain now. And hopefully he can come back against in our next Premier League game in midweek, because desperately going to need the guy. I mean, Jota did alright for a start. Maybe should have got a goal. Did really well, I thought, but yeah, our front three just can't score. Our front three can't score, and our defence can't keep clean sheets. Our midfield can't boss a game, and our goalkeeper's a best player. Honestly, and I was thinking this in the second half. The fact that we needed the reason why I didn't want to take Trent off in that second half was because we needed Milner in midfield, but then Trent had to go off because he was so bad, and then we moved Milner to right back, and then I thought, fuck, we're missing Milner in midfield as well. And you kind of think, at 37 years old, you want Milner in at right back and in midfield in the team. Oh, we are so poor. I thought Naby Keita, my God, he hasn't been good enough for a while, and he still isn't good enough for Liverpool. It's such a shame, because when he came, he had a fantastic season at RB Leipzig, and then we signed him. He stayed for another year, and then he had a world-class season at Leipzig, and then we get him, and then he's just injured constantly. And then when he plays, the amount of times he's been hooked at half-time, I need to find the exact stat, because he's gone. He's gone. He's not at Liverpool, and we shouldn't be playing him. I'd much rather us play Harvey Elliott. I'd much rather us play Stefan Petetic. I'd much rather us play Fabio Carvalho. Where is he gone? Because I know his last game was maybe the one against Man City in the Cup. But in that game, if I remember correctly, he scored. And he was playing left wing because Jota and Diaz were still injured. We hadn't signed Gakpo at that point. Or maybe we had just signed him and he wasn't fit or registered to play. But put him in midfield, because can he be worse? I mean, Curtis Jones never gets a look because he isn't good enough, but my God, I could talk about the whole team. Matip wasn't good enough. Salah wasn't good enough. Oh, and it's just horrible. And I don't know what Jurgen Klopp's doing either. I thought he made the right decision subbing off Naby Keita, bringing on Harvey Elliott. However, the fact that he took off Gakpo, who was our best attacking player, and then put Harvey Elliott, I don't know where he put him, left wing, and then bring on Petetic. The fact that Fabinho came on, and I know we don't have any other options on the bench, but bring on Jones. Well, I know he's had a stinker, but bring on Carvalho. I know he's maybe a bit young and hasn't played in midfield for us, but Fabinho comes on and we look a worse team. How is that possible? Gets a yellow, makes a couple of dicey challenges, a late one, a high foot and an elbow, and oh God, honestly, he was dreadful when he came on as well. But yeah, Crystal Palace definitely deserved at least a point. We didn't deserve to get a point, but I'll take it. That's one of our games in hand over Tottenham gone now. Only a point. Should have been 3, the team we normally beat, but not this level side, not the form they're in at the moment. And we can only look to the next game, and I hope it's something better, because if it's another 90 minutes like that, I don't think I want to watch.